Now check this out, check this out, check this out. Now check this out. I found an interesting video that we finna watch. Shadowlands has been an embarrassment for World of Warcraft, so we're gonna see what he's been saying because I do want to see this YouTuber's opinion on it. If you want to know his channel, it's Willie. That's his channel, so you guys should go do to that. You dig? Anyways, let's see what he has to say.
It's expansion review time. Yes.
First of all, from his title, I do agree with him. I think WoW has been an embarrassment for quite a few years now, but we'll get into my opinions later.
Really this early. I know usually I'd wait till the expansion is about to be over, but at this point we've just got what I think is safe to assume the final major content patch where we save
Right.
reality again. The next expansion is due to be announced 19th of April, and well, I've been on this ride before. I know how it goes, and if history is anything to go by, we have a very long, most likely year-long wait before we get our hands on the new game. It happened at the end of Mr. Pandaria, it happened at the end of Warlords of Draenor, it very nearly happened at the end of Legion, and I don't think any more time passing in Shadowlands would alter.
See, I feel as if there's no problem with having like a year long wait for the new expansion. However, you still have to release some form of content. You feel me? You can't just abandon this expansion because then niggas ain't gonna want to play.
To anything that I have to say. And I know people see me as the guy that does classic WoW due to the channel, but I've played retail WoW on and off for over 15 years and classic for under 3, so hopefully I do get an opinion. Saying that, Shadowlands must be the least I've ever played a retail experience.
100%. Like I told you in one of my previous videos, I bought Shadowlands. I logged on. I played for 10, 15 minutes. I said, this is a pile of dog shit. And I logged off. And since then, I have not logged onto the game. That was months ago. I think that was like back last year, August, I did that. But obviously, my main MMO right now, as you guys should know, is Guild Wars 2. Problem is, I've been loving that game. Like, I've been grinding my legendary armor and shit. Like, I feel progression in that game. It feels good. The game is always steadily improving, while WoW is always steadily deproving or declining is the word. That's what I'm looking for.
Expansion, without a doubt. Far less than WoD and definitely less than BFA. I actually raided in BFA. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Classic WoW existing has been a large contributor to this, but at the same time, despite them both being WoW, they're two incredibly different games. Speaking of other games, the MMO landscape has become vastly more interesting and competitive over the last 2 years.
100%. So many MMOs out there nowadays. You got Final Fantasy, you got Guild Wars, you got Ashes of Creations, which is being made, and I think a lot of people might play that potentially. You've got New World, which is kind of failing, but it still has a player base. What's another one? Elder Scrolls Online. I know that still has somewhat of a player base. You feel me? There's a lot of other MMOs out there that are slowly starting to catch up or at least be on par with World of Warcraft, and there's some MMOs that are just way better. In my opinion, that would be Guild Wars 2. I think Guild Wars 2 is way better than World of Warcraft. I think Final Fantasy, even though I've never played it, from what people have told me about Final Fantasy, I think it is way better than World of Warcraft right now, because these two games that I've just mentioned in particular, from what I've heard about people from Final Fantasy, it seems like they're having fun. Like that is the key thing you want when you're playing a game, is to have fun. Is it engaging? Is it engaging you? Does it make you want to log on damn near every day to play? Or are you looking forward to play it when you get home after doing what you have to do in the day? You feel me? I look like that's what Guild Wars 2 is to me. It's like, oh yeah, I can log on to start working on my new legendaries or try and go do map completion. Like there's always shit to do. Or maybe I might want to go do strike missions or some shit like that. Now, I do plan on dropping Guild Wars content soon. It's just that my PC is shit. So I can't actually record in good quality until I get a new computer. So bear with me on that one. But for now, we're going to be doing just normal videos like this. But more of the story is Blizzard needs to fix up. And I think we all know this.
Yes, Final Fantasy XIV gains a huge amount of traction and launches an expansion. New releases such as New World saw short-lived success, and the launch of Lost Ark in the West has thus far proven
I forgot to mention Lost Ark.
Oh, and Shadowlands launched during the ongoing COVID lockdowns on a worldwide scale. People were working from home or literally not able to leave their homes. If there was ever a time for the MMO genre to shine,
Facts.
no roll credits after the final boss or determined endpoint, this should have been it. And this was coming off the back of Battle for Azeroth, an expansion I'm not sure any...
I just want to point out one thing. So this guy here is playing on a destruction warlock, right? This is one of my biggest fucking problems with the game of WoW. If I'm correct, this happened in Warlords of Draenor. The ability squish. I hate that shit. I really do hate that shit. I remember back in the day, literally my whole top bar would be filled and my whole bottom bar would be filled. Now, people might like the ability squish. I fucking hate it. I feel as if having all those abilities added another layer of complexity to the game. And from taking all those abilities away, you've now turned it into like a 4 or 5 button rotation of what you can do. Like, I remember back when I was playing on my druid, messing around my wild mushrooms, had to put them in strategic locations, or you know what I mean? There's just so much more to do. But now it's like, when I play WoW, just to let you guys know, I am a Demon Hunter main, because Demon Hunter fits the class fantasy for me if I'm to play WoW. However, my problem is I waited fucking years for this class. I waited since Burning Crusade for Demon Hunters for it to be a 3-button rotation. I solely play it because it's a Demon Hunter, but the class actually has no identity. It can double jump and glide. Other than that, it's what? Chaos Strike, Death Strike, Fell Rush. On repeat.
Passing of time could make you develop nostalgia for. Where is that? There are 2 teams working on WoW saying right now, if BFA was the bad one and Shadowlands is the good one, what happens next? I personally don't feel there's ever been 2 miss the mark expansions in a row either, and I thought if and when this comes to...
No. There's not 2 miss the mark expansions in a row. Shadowlands missed, in my opinion. BFA missed, in my opinion. Legion missed, in my opinion. Warlords of Draenor missed, in my opinion. These 4 expansions I just named have all missed. Legion was only cool for me because of fucking Demon Hunters. But the expansion wasn't actually fun for me. If I'm being real, I played it, but it wasn't actually fun. I was just playing it for the sake of playing it. You know what I mean? I did like artifacts. But I didn't like the bar power. But I did like the thought of artifact weapons.
It would be nigh unrecoverable for the game. Orlis has hit WoW as a franchise hard, and Blizzard's numerous scandals following in its wake must have seen the largest player dissatisfaction towards the game ever. So, with that nice, light intro out the way, shall we talk about Shadowlands a bit? It started off good, didn't it? I mean, not even the launch, before that. Blizzard were taking feedback saying they're listening to what we're saying, something which had been sorely lacking during BFA. Yes, we do have new systems now, but we can pull the ripcord, meaning if they just clearly aren't working, we have measures in place to remove issues which they could create, and those issues could so very clearly be anticipated by everybody, be it a dev or a player. We just had 2 full expansions as a case study on systems. Surely, this time it will be different. I feel that there was some inspiration taken from the huge success of classic WoW. Level was squished down to 60, as well as numbers squish, and this is something which happens each new expansion now. In fact, they started out our baseline item level in Nathria as the same as the opening.
Okay, let me tell you guys something very interesting about the whole ability squish and all that stuff, and why I like it but I don't like it at the same time. Now, for me playing Guild Wars, obviously World of Warcraft, they can't do this because of how the game has been, and it's gonna fuck them up down in the long run. But comparing it to Guild Wars 2, what Guild Wars 2 does is you hit level 80, right? But hitting level 80, I feel as if in Guild Wars 2, from when you make your character from level 1, I feel as if you're already in endgame, and level 80 is just a thing that you do, like as you playing. It's hard to explain this, but it's like, it feels like you make a character in endgame, and you're seeing progression. It's so weird. Like, you're seeing progression, but you're not, like, it's not like your character's getting any stronger or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It stays, I think the word is linear progression. So it's like, you cannot be better than someone else. Because once you have the best in slot gear, you have the best in slot gear. You know what I'm saying? And everything you do in one expansion in Guild Wars, when the next expansion comes out, everything you did in that expansion doesn't get erased. It's still very valuable. In fact, it's as equally as valuable as the shit in the new expansion. And that just goes to show you that what is more important, feeling character progression or content in the game. Now, my answer to that is you need a bit of both. Guild Wars 2 has supplied with an enormous amount of content, and they have supplied with character progression. How have they supplied with character progression now? they've done that in multiple ways through the mastery system. Because like you hit level 80, but the mastery system's almost like you're still leveling. It's just a continuous leveling type of thing. That's how I look at it personally, and it just shows like, you know, almost, I guess you could say, your experience in the game, or whatever you want to call it. And it's just interesting systems that Guild Wars 2 have that work so well for the world of the game that they have created. Whereas World of Warcraft now, they're trying to, you know, take from other games and trying to implement it into their game. Now here's the problem with that. Like I told you, how they're trying to take Guild Wars 2's flying. It looks so weird. It looks so booky. Like, it don't look right in World of Warcraft. Why does it not look right in World of Warcraft? Because it doesn't suit the style of game that WoW is. That is the problem.
Tier of Wrath, the Lich King, and Jailer Mythic loot is only one item level higher than Lich King 25 Heroic. They unpruned the class flavour from the game, reintroducing totems, auras, poisons, eagle eye, and so on. WoW is getting a huge roguelike-esque feature with Torghast. Shadowlands was a complete blank check to bring back any and every WoW character Blizzard wanted to. They didn't have to do any justification like when they brought back Onyxia for the third time in Blackwing Descent by the second version of Nefarian. This is the world's afterlife, and living characters can go there. Does Bane ever meet Kern, or has he just been AFK in Oribos feeling sad all the time? What about Bolvar and Arthas, Anduin, Varian, Thrall and Garrosh? They could have reimagined literally any encounter or brought back any boss. It's something they have done in the past time and again, and in the Shadowlands it just made sense to do. But there has definitely been some good in the Shadowlands as well. I think the leveling rework has made it a much better overall experience for the newer player or alt enthusiast. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit sad the regular starting zones have been replaced by Exile's Reach. I like the flavour of them, and felt as though it set your character apart from others. I guess reworking one starting zone though is a lot easier than however many they have to do now, without even considering allied races. But being able to pick one expansion continent and that getting you all the way to the current expansion is good, and makes a much more cohesive experience rather than getting about 2 zones into an expansion and suddenly now you out level everything and then you have to go and figure out how to get to higher level content. As per usual, appearance wise the game looks good, particularly Ardenweald for me is one of the more visually impressive zones in the Shadowlands. Oh, and the flight path between different zones is a cool addition too. Character customization in Shadowlands got improved massively as well, bringing WoW a lot more up to date when it comes to picking.
I honestly feel as if World of Warcraft just needs a graphics update. Jeez, man, it just looks so. I don't want to say childish, but it just needs an update. Like, it just looks slightly more realistic and not too so cartoonish.
How your character looks with the likes of more jewelry, scars, tattoos, hairstyles, and so on. You know, customization has a good level of depth to it when you can press the randomized button 20 times in a row and nothing looks remotely alike. You can even pick your druid's forms as well, which I didn't even know this was a thing till I went to record for the video, but I think that's a great...
I did not know this was a thing. I didn't know this was a thing, actually. This is quite interesting, but it doesn't look like they're giving much customization with the forms just from looking at this. Oh, wait, I lied, they are.
Boss rush is pretty nice as well, and it would have been good if it was there from day one. I think more people would be saying good things about it rather than calling it Shoregas. And that's the rather short list of you did good Blizzard things in Shadowlands. Now for the rest of it. Where do we start? Covenants? Is that a good point? So in the run up to Shadowlands, everybody on YouTube, Twitch, forums, Reddit...
I promise you, one of the reasons why I didn't even get any further than 10 minutes into playing this expansion is because of Covenants. I realized I'm going to have to level up to 60, then do some stupid Covenant shit, and then do that on my other characters. I don't want to do it. Also, I do not like the new legendary systems. I hate it. I despise it. It is shit. It is so shit. It is dog shit. Why did Blizzard go from, in each expansion to get legendaries, there was something cool you had to do, you feel me? It was, I remember Burning Crusade. You could loot the fucking Warglaives of Azinoth from Illidan. That's fine. There was a legendary bow that would drop from Kill Jaden. That is fine. But obviously they had relatively low drop rates. Perfect. And coming into Wrath of the Lich King, they had introduced is it called the Shadowmourne, I think it's called, that actually get from running the raid. Now what they gave a quest line for it, a long quest line that wasn't necessarily easy to do at the time. perfect. That's what we would like to see. Coming into Cataclysm now, they had Fangs of the Father, which is the rogue legendary daggers, and yeah, the quest line for that. Now I'm sure Cataclysm had another legendary in there as well. It did. Targos's Vestige, the staff. I have that staff actually on my warlock, but I remember it had a quest line to it, quite long, and it felt good once you got it because not everyone had it. Coming into, I think they're coming into Mr. Pandaria now. You have the legendary cloak. Now, honestly, there's still a long fucking quest line to it, and the only thing good about the cloak was the visual appearance it gave. But it's still interesting, you know? Like, it still felt good when you had it, but our problem is now, you've come in, and they just changed that, you can loot a legendary now, and it looks like some shitty item, or you just make a legendary now, like, and it still looks like some shitty item, however the fuck they're doing it now. Whereas, give us an adventure with the legendary weapons. Let us work to get that weapon or get that legendary piece of armor. Personally, I think they should just keep it at legendary weapons for this game. For this game, I think that's perfect because I feel as if the weapons hold more lore to them than the armor in World of Warcraft. I personally think that's how it is. Give us those epic legendary quest lines to do. Make them long, make them strenuous, whatever. Make it something that is only achievable by the people that want to put in that work to get it over the long period of time, so that when everyone looks at them, it's like, raw, you got that weapon. That's mad. Like, that's how you want them to look at it, because not everyone's going to have it. If everyone has it, it's no longer legendary.
Twitter, wherever you looked on the internet, was saying covenants are not going to work. They are not going to be a meaningful choice. People will pick the quote-unquote best one, as it will directly impact my performance. Moreover, covenants are not flexible. Some are considerably better for Mythic Plus, some for Raid, and we cannot easily swap them. To which we were told what I can roughly summarize as: we've heard your feedback and decided that you are wrong. We think they are a meaningful choice. Players were drawn to what is best as opposed to what they prefer, and this will always happen. Trying to deny it is just going against human nature. If you know something is better than the other, the only choice you have to make is the wrong one. And the ripcord? It never existed. Here's a quote from Ian. In short, pulling on that thread, or cord as it were, would unravel the entire fabric of the system. Even so, we would embrace the work required to build the Covenant system along these lines if we agreed that would be an improvement, but ultimately, we do not share that view.
Please don't bring this Covenant system into Dragonflight. Abandon this shitty system.
Well, until 9.1.5 happened, that is. This is when Blizzard finally decided that players should have the ability to freely change between covenants, and it shouldn't be a surprise that it happened eventually. This is literally the formula the game works by now. Step 1. Create a problem where investing time is the answer. Legion, your legendary RNG is too high, and there's no way to target any of them. EFA, essences are a tedious regrind for alts. Shadowlands, covenants have no way to be swapped easily, and you have to regrind.
Oh, Blizzard, man.
Wait a good 6 to 12 months, sometimes longer, for players to get mad. Step 3. Provide an answer by adding a vendor that should have existed from the start of the game. Legion 7.3, currencies and tokens for legendaries. BFA, account-wide essences. Shadowlands, free swap for covenants. Make problem? Wait, and then add a vendor or NPC to fix. Each time it happens, it feels like a very long-winded, seemingly poorly thought-out system, but it's too consistent to just be a mistake. This is the intended game design, and it is just terrible. It's game design for engagement metrics, like the game is too scared that if you step off the treadmill, you will actually take a look at it and think, damn, what happened here? And you know what? By the end of each system expansion, when gearing is easy to catch up and various systems have become account-wide, they actually start to get really fun from a gameplay perspective. And then Blizzard bin everything and try to start again from scratch the next expansion. Think about your main, or the last class you used to play in recent expansions. How much has your class really changed from Legion to now, without legendaries or covenants or any of a temporary system?
Exactly.
Probably not very much.
Oh, exactly. You know it, right? You know it. Exactly. He's speaking facts. I remember, I think they still had this back in Burning Crusade, where to learn the skills, I actually like this. I know probably a lot of people didn't, but I really like this, is that to learn your skills, you have to go to your class trainer have the gold, have him teach you all the new skills, and they had rank systems to them as well. Like, so you wanted to try and get the highest rank skill, but then some people wouldn't actually get their skill ranked up to the highest because it might be too much mana cost for what it's worth. Like, it was just interesting to see how it would play out. I liked the fact that I had to go to my trainer, pay to learn the skill, and then I had to rank it up. I like that. That was back a long while ago. Now you just kind of get the skills as you level, which I guess that's fine. It's just a quality of life change, if you would want to say. But I kind of miss that system. It was I found it fun because I leveled up. Let me go back to my trainer and see if there's any new skills. And I missed when new expansions will come out and they will add new sets of skills to the game to make your class feel new and fresh and still hold its class identity. You'll still have your core abilities, but they might just add one or two skills to the game, just to switch it up a bit. And I enjoyed that. What did they do in World of Draenor? They took every fucking skill out of the game with this ability squish. Like, fucking... I used to main Warlock. When they took away... What's it called? Fell Lance? Or... What's it called again? It's like the Mage's Iceland spot for Warlock. Fell Dart or some shit. I don't remember what it's called. They took that out. That hurt me. They ruined Destruction Warlock for me. They really did ruin Destruction Warlock for me. And then I started playing a little bit of Demonology Warlock. They ruined that for me as well. Because coming into Legion, they took away Metamorphosis for the Demonology Warlocks. Because they said, but the Demon Hunters get Metamorphosis. I think that is one of the silliest things they could have done, because the whole thing of a Demonology Warlock was that, you're getting the demon power or some shit like that, and you turn into a demon. I like that. You're using the demon power. There's nothing wrong with that. As a demon hunter, you basically are kind of a demon or some shit. You just have that form. I think they could have just kept it in for the Demonology Warlocks. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Because it's not like they were a melee class going in just scraping people. It was just a little buff that made them a bit stronger that looked cool.
What else can we touch on? Torghast, it was so praised in the beta phase of the game as something that people could just do for the fun of it, or to try out different combinations of buffs and to mess about. And then instead, here comes your 9% crit and 5% versatility buff instead, on top of Soul Ash, to make sure that you have to do this content for legendaries. If it was inspired by roguelikes, then they did one thing that makes absolutely no sense with that in mind: balance. Roguelikes have terrible runs with awful RNG, and then the absolute god runs where you're literally flying across the map one-shotting everything. Torghast should have pushed the limit of how much just plain stupid stuff the game engine is capable of allowing you to do. It is a mandatory thing with no competitive element, so who cares if you're flying about on a magic carpet with a rocket launcher that shoots sharks, and when you kill an enemy they spawn 2 more sharks that start randomly jumping about spawning more sharks. But no, here's your percentage crit buff instead. So what else can we comment on in the Shadowlands? Of course, the story. Look, this isn't exactly a lore channel here.
Let's not get me started on how WoW story has just gotten so fucked up.
No novel, but my god, the story. Sylvanas gets her redemption arc, Garrosh reappears only to disenchant himself in a 1-minute cutscene, and 9.2 is the culmination of the story arc that began in Warcraft 3. The jailer, the guy who popped up this expansion that literally nobody had heard of, had planned everything that had happened in the Warcraft universe to get to this moment. Just try and understand with me for a moment here the size of this guy's brain. He knew that Arthas would become the Lich King, that Illidan would open a gate to Argus at the end of Tomb of Sargeras, that Sylvanas would become the War Chief, and that Sargeras himself would stab a big old sword right into Azeroth. And his plan at the end of all this? To destroy the world so that something unknown, which is worse, doesn't happen. A cosmos divided won't survive what is to come. So, why have you been trying to divide everybody through the whole expansion?
Oh jeez, like I told you, don't even get me started on the World of Warcraft story anymore. It's not even cool. The story's not even cool anymore. It's just plain. It's boring. It needs help. It needs a bit of milk to get it there. Let me tell you why. with the previous R expansion, so you know, you have classic WoW. You're going into Burning Crusade. There's a story there about that whole thing. You go into Wrath of the Lich King. There's a story there. You know, the whole Lich King theme. There's a story to tell. You go into Cataclysm, Deathwing. There's a story to tell. You go into Mr. Pandaria. Now this is where it got a bit funky for me with the whole time travel and shit. With Garrosh, there's a story to tell there. There's a story to tell there. But it wasn't as impactful as, you know, Deathwing, Lich King, the Burning Crusade story, you know? And the whole time travel shit. How we went back in time or some shit like that. I'm not really a fan of when games do that because I think it's just fuck shit up. Then what? Warlords was after Warlords? Was it Legion? Legion. What was like? There's a story to tell there, but again, it's not that big. Like, it's not like, you know, like what, you beat Gul'dan, he's done. And then what after Gul'dan? What? I forgot who you fighting. Sargeras, I think. I don't even fucking remember. It's been so long, but it's like the stories just became less and less impactful and meaningful, if you ask me. BFA. I didn't even give a fuck about the story at that point. I don't like. It was just boring to me. This Shadowlands story had potential. I think. I feel as if it had potential, but was very poorly executed. But I don't know. It's just normally back in the previous expansions, it was like there was this big enemy that you obviously had to work to defeat, but they had a story to them. I kind of miss that.
20 years of lore for a cliffhanger that doesn't even make sense in the context of the game. Oh, by the way, there's still a huge sword in Silithus. Magni is not going to be happy about all them wounds, you know. I think at this point, just wrap it up and move on. And I also think that's what Blizzard will intend to do. The rate at which they burn through pre-established characters and lore over the past 2 expansions is remarkable. Let's count them. We've got Kultiris, Ashara, N'Zoth, Ny'alotha, Garrosh, Arthas, and finally we reach the end of Sylvanas' story. So, where do we go from here? Mega Super Sargeras version 2.0 and the new and improved Giga threat to Azeroth, the final big daddy of big bosses, where we all fly around on spaceships shooting laser beams at asteroids from our intergalactic space garrison, or an expansion where we grow our own plants, become friends with some pandas, and maybe even get a nice dance studio. The way Shadowlands ended, expecting the former. Still, new expansion announcements 19th of April. I'm more into the features over where the expansion is, but I'd be lying if I'm saying I'm not interested in what comes next all of the same. Also, it will be 10.0. That's a big number. As for Shadowlands, wake me up when it's over. That's about everything though. Let me know your thoughts on the expansion, whether you're still playing or have given it a go at any point, what you think will come next. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I shall see you all in the next one very soon.
Yeah, this guy made a very good video. Like I said, if you look right here, this is his channel if you want to check it out. But yeah, this Shadowlands expansion has been terrible for World of Warcraft. Shadowlands has been terrible for a while, and I don't even know if they're going to be able to come back from this. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like it up, subscribe, do all of that. Peace.